Okay, everyone. Well, I've come back again for another show today. I thought I'd come and do some predictions for you for the start of the Premier League season. And I thought, every time there's a match day, I thought I would do this. So every time there's a set of matches, I'm going to come on and I'm going to talk to you about predictions for those games. So the first match day is this weekend. So what I'm going to go through every game, telling you what I think is going to happen in the game and what the results will be. So hopefully that'll be interesting. I'll be really interested to hear what you think about what's going to happen in these games. So if you could be kind enough to put your comments in the chat, that would be fantastic. But if you're watching this on catch up, then please put your comments in the comment section below. That would be fantastic. Over the course of the season, we'll see who the best predictor is. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Anyway, let's get on with it. So, I've done this in two parts. So, the first game that's up is tonight is Brentford against Arsenal. Now, Brentford are newly promoted into the Premier League, and Arsenal have had a very poor pre-season, and there's been a lot of upset in the Arsenal fan base about the lack of signings, and particularly after we were told that the club was going to go through an unprecedented overhaul in its squad. Which hasn't happened. So I think there's quite a lot of negativity flying around the club, and Brentford is going to be the first time they've ever played in the Premier League. They're in a new stadium, and when new teams get promoted, they're always really, really fired up for the first few games. So I think Brentford are going to win this game by 2 goals to 1. The next game, Manchester United against Leeds. I think that's tomorrow. It's the War of the Roses clash. And hello, mate. How you doing, old school gooner? Hope you're okay. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, Manchester United and Leeds at Old Trafford. War of the Roses clash. Now, this is usually a really fiercely contested match, and I don't see any reason why it should be any different this time. I think Man United will win this game by 1-0. Hi, James. Thanks for popping in again. 1-1 against Brentford. I'll be quite happy with that, to be quite honest. Hopefully, that's what will happen, but I'm not confident. Apparently, Aubameyang and Lacazette are both not playing, so we'll see. Old School's going 2-1 to Brentford as well. It's a bit unfortunate, isn't it? But, yeah, never mind. Let's just hope that we can turn things round and this club can start climbing its way out of this quagmire that it seems to find itself in. The signings, that's another issue. What about the signings? We were told at the end of last season that the club was going to go through its biggest overhaul in its club's history, and it hasn't happened, has it? So, like I said in that video that I uploaded a few days ago, I think it was now, I really like to know what's going on. And then we got another comment, another couple of comments here. MYX, those are some nice predictions. Well, that's just what I think. So I'm not sure whether they're going to come true or not. I'm not particularly good at predicting football results, but let's see what's happening and what will happen. Time is moving on, and personally, I would have liked to seen Arsenal conclude all their transfer business at the before the season started, so that all the new players could have been integrated into the squad. They could have gotten used to their new colleagues, and they could have worked out what tactics were going to be played. And that when the season started, we were ready to go. But as is usual with Arsenal, we're nowhere near ready. So let's move on. Burnley and Brighton. Yeah, that could be quite an interesting game because obviously Brighton have sold their star centre back to Arsenal for 50 million. And Burnley, I'm not really quite sure what the state of Burnley's squad is, but it's always a very difficult game playing at Turf Moor. And to be honest, I think Burnley will win this game by 1-0. Then, if Arsenal lose tonight, Terry will defend Arsenal as usual. Yes, I think he will, James. I think Terry, even if Arsenal got relegated, I think he'd defend Arsenal. I can't get my head around it. I just don't understand where this obsession with Mikel Arteta is. He just seems to want to defend Mikel Arteta come what may. He just doesn't. To me, he just can't see the sense in what he can't see logic as far as I can see. I just don't get it. Yeah, and James, I think you probably could be right. The Man United Leeds game and the Burnley Brighton game, I think particularly the Burnley Brighton game is going to be a really hard battle for both clubs. So, on to the Chelsea Crystal Palace game. Now, this is going to be Patrick Vieira's first competitive game in charge of Crystal Palace. And Chelsea with their new star striker, Romelu Lukaku. I'm not sure if he's going to start the game but anyway, I think Chelsea will be buoyed by their Super Cup win, their European Cup win, and will end up winning the game by 2-0. And yeah, well, old school, I agree with you, mate. I do think that Mikel Arteta was a crap player as well. So he wasn't that great at all, was he? Let's be honest. And I don't think he's a good manager. I think he's very lucky still to be in the job. James, yeah, I agree with you there, mate. 2-0 win for Chelsea. Then he's old school Guna says he couldn't organise a piss up. Well, yeah, probably. I wouldn't back him to bloody organise anything, mate. To be quite frank, he can't organise the Arsenal, that's for sure, and his decision-making skills are shocking, to be quite honest. Now, Everton against Southampton. James, I think you're going to have a really comfortable win against Southampton. Their team's been weakened. Aston Villa came in, I think, wasn't it? And bought Danny Ings. And, so I think Everton will win that game by 3-1. Yeah, well, organise a piss up for Arsenal. Well, yeah, and I don't think he can organise a piss up anywhere. Never mind just for Arsenal. I wouldn't rely on him to organise anything. It's just anything that he's involved in. He's got his fingerprints on. I just think it'd be an absolute disaster, to be quite frank. But yeah, I'm going to get behind the team, and I want us to do well. So yeah, come on, you Gunners. Everton 1-0 Southampton. I think you'll win it more comfortably than that. It's going to be it's going to be the big man's first game in charge, isn't it? I would have loved to have had him at Arsenal, to be honest. The guy you've got at the helm at Everton there. I think he's a quality manager. I really do. As long as you win tomorrow, that's all that you care about. Well, that will do for you. Well, of course, 3 points is 3 points at the end of the day, isn't it? So, and then, come on, you please. Oh my goodness. Best of luck, Arsenal. Well, we certainly will need it. That's for sure. The mess we're in. Right. So let's move on. Oops, sorry guys. Right, so the next set of fixtures, Leicester against Wolverhampton Wondrous. 2-0. I've got that one down as a 2-0 win for Leicester. I think that they'll have too much for Wolves. The Wolves have been weakened by losing their manager, and they struggled last year. Leicester just missed out on the Champions League, so I think that'd be a fairly comfortable victory for Leicester, to be honest. And good news for James says, good news for us, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin are available, but James Rodriguez is isolated. Is that true? Oh my God. I hope he'll be all right. But yeah, it is good news that Richarlison and that Calvert-Lewin are both available for Everton. So that's great news for Everton. And I think the big man at Everton will have them all fired up and raring to go. Yeah, and I think, James, you're right. I think Leicester are going to win that game at the weekend against Wolves. And then the next one, Watford against Aston Villa. Yeah, so I've got that one down as a draw just because Watford, they're newly promoted, so they're going to be really fired up. Aston Villa, they've lost Jack Grealish, probably one of the best midfield players in the world. So I think it might be a bit of a struggle for Villa, this one, until they get used to not having Jack in the team anymore. So, yeah, I think a 1-1 draw is probably on the cards there. Then Norwich and Liverpool. Now, this is a really interesting one for me because Norwich, they're another newly promoted side and they're playing Liverpool at home. Liverpool, I'm not sure whether they're going to have all their injured players back or not. I'm not sure that they'll throw Virgil van Dijk straight back in, or whether the guy what's the guy's name who went and played in the England team? And the one there's been a lot of speculation about him leaving. I'm not sure if he'll come and play as well because he's just come back from injury as well. Norwich have been also, they've bought the young Scottish player from Chelsea in on loan. So, yeah, it could be a really interesting game, that one. And I've decided to plump for a 1-1 draw. Okay, so let's look at some of these comments. My old school Guna says, my ex is an expert at social distancing. She always keeps a distance from me since 2014. Yeah, I know the feeling, mate. Yeah, well, you're probably better off without her in your life at the moment, by the looks of it. If it's anything like my ex. Aston Villa 3-0, Danny Ings hat-trick. Yeah, well, that's a very upbeat prediction. So, well, let's see what happens with that one, because I've got that down as a draw. So, 2-1 Villa I'm going for. The manager will be under pressure if they don't start well with the signings they've made. Yeah, that's probably true, mate. Yeah, because they have made a few. They haven't messed around like Arsenal have, that's for sure. 3-0 Liverpool. Pains me to say it, but I'm being honest. Well, that's all you can do, mate, isn't it? I mean, I know it probably pains you to say it, being a good Evertonian that you are. Old school Guna says that he's got himself a Latina. Well sorted, mate. Yeah, exactly. You enjoy yourself, mate, and don't worry about things that have happened in the past. Just look forward and look to the future. Anyway, so the next one, Newcastle against West Ham. Again, that's another interesting one. David Moyes taking his team up to face the Toon at St James's Park. And I know from my own experience that when that place is full and it's rocking, it really does rock. So it'll be an interesting game for West Ham. However, I do think they'll have enough to beat Steve's Bruce side, just about. Even though they've got Joe Willock in the side now as well. But yeah, I think West Ham should just about have enough. Even though West Ham have lost the lad they had on loan from Manchester United, he's gone back, hasn't he? So anyway, so let's catch up on the comments. Back to the football. Yes. Let's back to the football. Now, Newcastle won, West Ham won. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me if it was James, to be honest. Where do you think West Ham? Where do you think Everton will finish this year, James? I think you've got a good shout for the top six, to be quite frank. And Liverpool will be very strong here. I think that as well. I've got a really good friend of mine who's a Liverpool fan, and she's not confident at all. And I keep saying to her, well, just because all these other teams have spent hundreds of millions of pounds, don't mean to guarantee that they're going to get success. You know, and all these Liverpool players that are coming back from injury, they're going to be really fired up and ready to go. So NYX says 2-1 Joe Willock with the winner. Well, I could see that happening as well, to be honest. It wouldn't surprise me. But I just think the West Ham might just have a bit too much. How do you think Lukaku would do? This is an interesting one, because when he was at United, a lot of people complained about his performances at United, that he didn't score enough. But I don't know, he's a big, imposing fella, and I think he's definitely improved since he's gone to Italy. Whether he'll score enough goals for Chelsea, though, I don't know. But he does strike me as being the striker that they've needed for a couple of years. So let's see. He could do really well. It is a huge signing. It really is. James Dunlop's going for Man City to beat Spurs 1-0. Yeah. I've gone for Man City to win 3-0 at Spurs, to be quite honest. So I think that Tottenham are in a bit of disarray at the moment, and the new manager's obviously got to get his ideas over to the team and whatnot. And let's see, but Tottenham's new manager ain't in the same league as Rafa, so let's see what happens. And old school Guna says success breeds success, and it certainly does, mate, 100%. Lukaku is better than Alba. Well, at the moment, I think he is. I think most of them strikers are better than Alba. Alba's just not performing. What the reasons for that are, I've got no idea. But yeah, you're right. 10th is where I think Everton will finish from. We need stability under Benitez, but tomorrow, if it goes wrong, it will get toxic at Goodison. Now, that's probably true because of his connections with Liverpool. As soon as it starts going wrong at Everton, I think he's going to have a real rough ride. And I could see him getting hounded out in a similar way to what he did when he was at Chelsea. I remember when he first went in at Chelsea, the Chelsea fans didn't want him. And in the first game, they were booing him. There was banners up saying that they didn't want him and all this. So, yeah. Nye says Everton should have finished above Arsenal. Don't worry, mate. And I think they will. I think, like I said, I think they've got a good shout for the top six. If Rafa can get them firing and organised and playing well, I think they certainly got the players to finish that high up the table. James says we'll see what happens in NYX. So let's see. And then, I'll have Rafa over Arteta, to be honest. I would as well. I just don't think that Arteta is up to the job at all. I don't understand how he managed to get himself the job, and I still think he's not the right man for the job. He hasn't shown me anything at any stage since he's been imposed that suggests to me that he's the right man for the job. But yeah, so Tottenham, I've got to lose 3-0 at home to Man City. And that's all of my predictions for the first match day of the new Premier League season. James says, how many games would you give Arteta, Warren? I know you want him out anyway. To be honest with you, if it was down to me, I'd have him out now. I didn't want him in from the get-go, and I think the sooner they get him out, the better. Because the longer he's in, the more damage he's going to cause, and the longer it's going to take a new manager to sort it out. So, yeah, I'd get him out immediately. Having said that, when do I think he will go? If it goes badly, I think if it goes badly tonight, he won't get. I can't see him getting anything out of the games against Chelsea and City. I think that the board at Arsenal will probably give him till Christmas, but let's see what happens. But like I said, I'd have him out as soon as possible. So yeah, that's it really. I just thought I'd come on and do that. There's another comment there from MYX. He says you can have two short when we sack him. Yeah, we seem to like taking players and whatnot off Chelsea. So why not take a manager? And yeah, if he doesn't win the Premier League this season, I can see him getting the sack. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. That James, that's an interesting one about who Terry would want if Arteta got the sack this season. I reckon he'd go for an ex-Arsenal player again. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't say give it to Per Mertesacker. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But who knows? It probably depends on who's available. But I'll tell you something, he's going to be really angry if Arteta does get the sack. He's going to blame all of us that's saying that said he wasn't good enough, that we got in the sack. It was all our fault. We should have given him more time. NYX says Wenger, I guess. I've seen that. Oh, yeah. Terry is, bless him. I love him to bits because I just think he's such a nice guy, but he's just got this fixation with Arteta, and I just don't understand it. I really don't. My argument with him is if Arteta had been sat next to Sean Dyche at Burnley and he'd been his number 2, would he have wanted him? I think the only reason Terry wants Arteta as manager is because he thinks that he's going to come in and he's going to be another Pep Guardiola. I honestly believe that. But the thing is now as well, he's gone so far with it, all this Arteta nonsense, that I just don't think that he'd ever accept that it was that he was wrong. I just think he will back him to the hilt now, no matter what. And what I don't understand was like all during the Euros, he was complaining about Gareth Southgate playing boring, negative tactics, like making illogical substitutions, all the things that everyone criticises Arteta for. And he was having a go at Gareth Southgate for doing exactly the same. So I'm thinking, well, what's the difference? I don't understand. But that's Terry for you. Nothing he says or does makes any sense to me. And Old School Gooner says, thanks, but no thanks, MYX. We have enough Chelsea rejects. And that's probably true, to be honest. I don't want another Chelsea reject stinking the place out like Willian has done and all the rest of them. He'll blame Diesel for being the leader of the Arteta out group too, Warren. Yeah, I think he would. I think that we are going to be the ones that get it in the neck from Terry. He won't see it as being Arteta's fault. He will say it's all our fault. We created a negative, toxic atmosphere at the club and it became impossible for Arteta to succeed. I respect both Terry and Diesel's opinions and they stick to it. That's the thing. That's the thing I like about it as well, that both of them, no matter what, they always stick to their opinion. They ain't going to change, and I love it. And I love the pair of them. I think they're fantastic. They're both really... With them, what you see is what you get. There's no crap involved. They don't, they just say what they think, and that's so refreshing. MYX says Terry is so deluded at times. I think at times I think he's even alive. Well, yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? But there you go. That's Terry. Cheers, Warren. I need to go. Keep up the good work and with the channel, mate. Thanks a lot, James. Lovely speaking to you. I'm going to be on. I'm going to watch the drama unfold tonight on the Claude and the Bansters channel with Diesel and Terry. So hopefully I'll see you there. Take care, mate. Thanks for coming and thanks for watching. Right, so that's it, everyone. I'm going to wrap it up now. So let's get the closing video on. And like I said, if with this thing here, the Claude and the Bansters channel, if any of you want to watch a channel where there's like good heated debates about football, particularly about Arsenal, then come and check them out, because it gets really intense on there and quite heated. But it's a great channel, and like I say, the lads on there are absolutely fantastic. So please come and pay them a visit, give them some support, subscribe to their channel, share the content around, and subscribe to them. Anyway, that's it for now, everyone. I'll be back on again soon. I'm not sure when, but keep your notifications on and I'll let you all know. Please take care. Make sure you share some love and kindness around the world. And thanks very much for watching and tuning in. Take care, everyone. Bye.